we updated our feature, updated feature function. We are ready to move on to our final user story for edit project workflow, which is users can edit a project. Since I'm already on the back end, I'm just going to stay on the back end, okay? And I'm going to create my update project function. All right, update project. We will pass in a project ID. And what's nice about this is as we are getting higher and higher in terms of levels, right, we have less work we have to do in order to update, right? So we have less relations, the queries are not as complicated, and so it's kind of a nice break to do the hard ones first, okay? So for example, we don't even need to add this portion. We just need to have the user portion of it, okay? We don't need relations project because that's what we're getting, okay? So then let's go ahead, update this to be project, and then updated project. Save. Okay, and then updated project .id. I think this is it projects repository? Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, we will throw a bad request exception. But see how that was almost, I mean, if you look at this one versus the task one, right? It's a lot less complicated, okay? So I'm kind of, you could have started with projects and then you could have kind of built up to the hard part, but it's kind of a nice break for me to end with the easy part. All right, so now we have auth service. We are going to be updating a project. So let's go ahead and add, oh, that should be up actually. So we are going to update project. We're going to send in a project ID. We are going to well, actually, so we don't need to return the project ID. We can just return the project. We don't need to go do another thing. So we can actually here return, await projects service dot update project. So we don't even need, we're already in the project service. So this one's actually even easier. All right. Perfect. Okay, so we have our update projects API route and the update projects function. And let's go ahead and move on to the front end work. Oh, well, oops, we didn't do the route. We're getting lazy. Okay. Let's do the controller. I'm like really doing it backwards too, because usually I always start with the controller, but I actually kind of like it because it's less red lines. All right, this is going to be all right. That looks good. Now let's add my DTO. Cool. And so now we have our update project route. All right, on to the front end. All right, so we no longer need to be in the feature modal. We are just going to hang out on the project page. All right. Perfect. Okay. So I do want my feature modal though open because I want to steal Okay, so I'm going to start with, let's go ahead and start with const update project name set update project name use state false. All right, we're going to have the same thing for description. Okay, then we need a state for project name. Let me clear some of these unused imports. All right. So we're passing in the project name. Okay, so we want to do then const project name is going to be equal to, and then set project name. And then we're going to say use state and then project dot name. Perfect. All right, let's copy this and we'll have the same thing. Project dot description. All right, so now we have the states that we need. Okay, so let's go ahead and edit our front end. Okay, so if we have update project name is true, then we want to show our input. Otherwise, we want to show our text. Let's import, and the value is going to be project name, and then we can use onChange name function. So let's go steal it. Steal both of those at once. Okay, so edit name is going to be update project name. And then onChange is going to be set project name. Okay, and then the value will be project name and the onChange will be onChange name. Perfect. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to make sure we have our icon button. So we are going to take this and we are going to add it, and then we are going to put it in a box. And then let's go get the details for the box. All right, we want to import icon button. This should be project name. And then we will call update project, and this would be with project name. Let's import our icons. All right, getting there. And let's go ahead and copy our function, and then we will edit it to make sense. Okay, so we want this to be project. Okay, so we're to say if project name is link. All right, now we got to go and add a toast. So the same steps the whole time. Once you have a good system for this and you feel good about it, then it's pretty easy to update. So we're going to say, please enter a valid project name, and then we will set project name with project.name, right? So if they enter a blank project name, then we're just going to set it back to what it was. Otherwise, we will go and get the token, and then we will call the update project route. We will pass in the field, the value, and the project ID. All right. I don't have something named project ID, so that's why I have to write it out like this. Okay, and then if we get a response back, we will set back our update name and descriptions to false. And then we will show our project field has been updated. Otherwise, if we're unauthorized, we'll navigate to login. So we have to go ahead and use the use navigate hook from React router in order to get navigate. And then if it's a different type of error, like that bad request error, we will just show there's an error, please try again. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, minus, this text has a margin bottom on it. Okay, that looks better. And I think we are adding a margin right as 4 to this instead. Yes. Okay, so now I click, okay, and I click, oh no! All right, so we have an issue. That's okay though. Let's go see what's going on. So let's do console.log, response.data. All right. So I'm also going to go to the back end, and I'm going to not go to that one. I'm going to go to my auth controller, and I'm going to go to update project, and I'm going to go ahead and console log here with my update project ETO. Okay, let's look at the error. React router cannot read properties of undefined. Okay, so it looks like we're not getting something back. Okay, so let's go ahead and do test. All right, so that part worked well. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into things a little bit. Let's go into here. Let's go ahead and do console.log project to update. All right, and let's try this again. Oh wait. Okay, so it did refresh. It did change it. Okay, so that's good to know. So what we want to do is we want to see if it's actually updating the project. So let's go ahead and do console.log updated project. And see what it's returning. Okay, so it is returning. Oh, okay, so we need to include all of our relations. Okay, we can do that. So this is also why we were calling the feature, because we want, there's a specific, this get project by ID specifically returns the features and stuff in order. So that's what we're going to do instead. So we're going to say return await this dot. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. So this dot projects repository dot, nope, this dot projects service. So it's just this dot find get project by ID, and then we're going to send in updated project.id. So now we should hopefully be able to make this work. Okay. All right, edit. Let's do test 3. and whoop, whoop, it works, okay? So now we can go ahead and get rid of our console log. All right, let's check if we just get rid of the whole thing and do blank. It puts it back, okay? Then let's go ahead and add the description, and then we will be done. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. And yeah, well, let's do our description. So we're going to add these functions here. Change all of these to description. All right. Then we want to replicate here. Okay. And we want to say update project description. If we have update project description, then we want to do this. Otherwise, we want to do that. Okay, so then this is going to be okay, perfect. Then we want to put this in a box. So that way we can throw our icon button below. And this icon button is going to be changing the description. And it is going to send the field description, and then we are going to have project description, and then edit description. Why is it mad? Oh, because it could be string or undefined. So update. Perfect. All right, now let's look how we are styling the box for description, just like this. So we can go and add it to this box here. Looks good. All right, we want to add a margin right equals 4 to the description. And so now I click, and let's add test. And it comes back. Whoop, whoop. I refresh my page, and it works. If I send in a blank, oh, interesting. All right, so let's go. Because the value is not empty. Okay, this is a good investigative thing because we want the value to not be empty if it's a name, but if the field is name, but if the field is description, then it's fine to be empty. Okay, so I think that what we would do is something like this, where we would add there's no product description, or we would look into how to edit this based on what another field is. Okay, so I'm going to mark off these are done. Okay, and I'm going to move this over, but I'm going to add a to investigate here, and then how to validate empty description, but not empty name. Then I'm going to add the card. Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to comment out my is not empty validation, because technically we are validating on the front end. That there is a task on the front end, we are validating that there is a name. So now we should be able to, do that. But if we make this blank, then we can't. Okay, so we are able to fix that. I just don't love it. So we'll add that to the investigative task and go from there. All right, see you guys in the next feature.